to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcast are back talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. I'm Brian. Jason's here. Joe's here. We don't know where Kevin is.
He's on assignment.
If you can hear us, Kevin, text us. Let us know that you're okay. We don't know where he is. He probably fell asleep.
No, we don't know.
But we know, we literally don't know. He was here and texting earlier. He's not now, but I'm sure everything's all fine and good. He's been off doing all kinds of craziness that I'm sure he'll tell you about next time he's back on. But guys, this is a special show.
Not special in like Dudley in the back of the bike store. Special. If you don't know that reference, go Google it.
Yeah. Real quick, Jay. Yeah, someone on this show has some breaking news. It's a big announcement they want to share. Yeah, Kevin, you're missing out.
No, if it was Kevin, it would be okay. Ready? Here it goes.
Yeah. In, out.
How was that, guys?
When it comes to breaking news in the wrestling world, there's really only one person that wrestling fans go to. Let's go to him right now.
What's up, you guys? Sean Rossap with some breaking news. My sources have confirmed that Jason got a new job. Congrats to him. Well, listen, I'm going to expose my sources. I'm going to out my sources. It's Brian, Joe, and Kevin. That's who told me this. So, I mean, listen, you call it journalistically unethical. I don't care. But I know you're moving from LA back to the East Coast. East Coast is the best coast. Let's be real. I know you're going to take a break from that wrestling podcast, but congratulations on the job, on the move. But I'm going to have to ask you to confirm this report because let's be real, Brian, Joe, and Kevin are not the most reliable of sources. I feel like they might have an agenda. They might have a little bit of a vendetta against you because of this. Like, sure, they're happy for you.
Joe.
Really
That's me.
For you? I mean, you've got to go to all these manias and all out. You got all these storage bins full of wrestling shirts, all that good stuff. I know you enjoy wrestling, but are they going to be able to enjoy wrestling anymore?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I make this shit happen.
I mean, listen, between us, to hell with them. Congrats. Congrats. This is going to be big for you. It's going to be big for your life. And it's big for them, too. They're happy for you. Until next time, we're out.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Fightful Select, Sean Rossap. Podcast. Jason, can you confirm or deny?
He scooped me again on my own fucking news? Seriously?
You got to go to the source. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Can you confirm this? Unbelievable, my friend.
There's got to be two sources. That's one.
That's one source.
So a few weeks ago, I talked about boys do what they want, men do what they have to. And it is true. I can confirm that I have accepted a new job, which will cause me to leave Los Angeles, moving back to the East Coast. And what that means is that, surprisingly, I thought Joe would be the first one to leave the podcast, but I am actually leaving That Wrestling Podcast.
I made it. Yes.
I thought that was so great when Sean Rossap said, somebody's got a vendetta against you. I was like, that's Joe.
That's me.
Joe, I'm not
happy
leaving
days right now.
I'm not leaving for good. I'm leaving for like a month.
Greatest month ever. I don't care. July is the best month for all of teachers. It's like the Saturday of months.
You know what's crazy? Like, I had this big speech prepared, so I'm just going to give it anyway.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
You know, when we started this podcast,
the Oscars music is playing now. You got to wrap it up.
The wrap up. Terrible.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. All seriousness.
So, Brian knew what was going on. Joe did not know. Kevin does not know. And I don't even know when he'll find out. Maybe when he listens on Friday morning.
Kevin's going to be like, why didn't you guys tell me?
We tried, Kevin.
Yeah, you weren't here. It was one of those things where, like, this is a pro wrestling podcast. It's that wrestling podcast. And, I'm not here to, insult you by talking about good guys and bad guys. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm losing my smile, I have to leave the podcast, or creative has nothing for me, or I have the, ironclad contract that I can come and go as I please. Because, as stated a couple weeks ago, I am the star of this show.
Hey now.
But
Allegedly.
fact of the matter is I have an amazing job opportunity, and I could not pass it up. And 2.5 years ago, we started this podcast. And yeah, Joe, you and I have our issues. And I would like to take this moment in my special announcement to give you the greatest gift of all, me leaving this podcast for a month, and one other gift I have for you on your 63rd birthday.
Oh,
Brian,
thank
hit
you.
the video.
Yes.
Brian, hit the video, please.
Oh, geez.
Brian, hit the video. Today.
G'day Joe, it's Simon here. Just wanted to wish you a rip snorter of a birthday. Hope you have a cracking day. And yeah, you still suck, mate. See ya.
Yes.
All the way from Australia, Simon with the happy birthday wishes. Joe, happy birthday.
That's
Happy
awesome.
birthday, Joe.
Hey, Simon, thanks for that. I never had a birthday wish from someone on the other side of the world before. I think the furthest I've gone was like Jason in Los Angeles. So thank you very much, Simon. And you know what? Who cares about your opinion?
Kevin, welcome to the show. We assumed you fell asleep because you've had a rough week.
I did.
I wanted to.
Well, just enjoy wrestling. We finished.
Yay.
Kevin, Brian knew I had an announcement to make. Brian knew what it was, but I don't know. I got scooped on my own news. Brian, would you play that video again, please? I can't believe this happened.
Yeah,
I cannot believe I got scooped on my own news.
Yep. Give me uno momento.
Unbelievable.
Let me. Where did he go here? Tell you what. Why don't give me just a minute here? I'll find the scoop. It's going to take me a second. It looks like.
So, Kevin,
Yeah.
Thank you for joining the show. 2.5 years ago, we started this podcast, and I can proudly say you and I have become better friends because of that wrestling podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Brian and I have been friends, for the longest time, and Joe and I, have our issues. And I know you just jumped on as I gave him a great birthday present from International Heat, aka Simon in Australia, who had a nice birthday wish on Joe's 63rd birthday. But I also gave Joe another great birthday gift, and that is that I am leaving the podcast.
Oh.
And I am ready to show Kevin how we revealed the news to the world. If
before I announced my announcement, Brian did this.
Yeah, Kevin, I said something along the lines of, when you go to breaking news in wrestling, there's only one man you can go to. Please welcome to the show, Sean Rossap.
What's up, you guys? Sean Rossap with some breaking news. My sources have confirmed that Jason got a new job. Congrats to him. Well, listen, I'm going to expose my sources. I'm going to out my sources. It's Brian, Joe, and Kevin. That's who told me this. So, I mean, listen, call it journalistically unethical. I don't care. But I know you're moving from LA back to the East Coast. East Coast is the best coast. Let's be real. I know you're going to take a break from that wrestling podcast, but congratulations on the job, on the move. But I'm going to have to ask you to confirm this report because let's be real, Brian, Joe, and Kevin are not the most reliable of sources. I feel like they might have an agenda. They might have a little bit of a vendetta against you because of this. Like, sure, they're happy for you, but are they really happy for you? I mean, you've got to go to all these manias and all out. You got all these storage bins full of wrestling shirts, all that good stuff. I know you enjoy wrestling, but are they going to be able to enjoy wrestling anymore
We'll have to try, Sean.
without you?
Doubtful.
Enjoy it
Between
more.
us. To hell with them.
Enjoy it.
Congrats. It's going to be big for you. It's going to be big for your life. And it's big for them, too. They're happy for you. Until next time, we're out.
So there you go.
That
Sean
is-
Ross Sapp.
He
breaking
scooped me on
news.
my own news. On my own show.
That
that I'm the
goddamn
star
Fightful
of.
Select. $5
God damn it.
a month.
$5 a month.
Unbelievable.
Fuck.
Yeah. So there you go, man.
It's worth it. Apparently it's worth it. I mean, he's got his nose in everything
Right.
wrestling related.
Even some losers podcast like this, he is in
pretty
the
amazing.
know. I'm not saying what the job is. Those who know. I will let you guys know off the air because I don't want to do anything to mess up what I have going on. But it's a big deal, and I will be leaving the podcast. And when I said that, Kevin, Joe did a cartwheel. He was so excited, but I'm like, dude, it's only for a month, so I'll be out most of the month of July, maybe some of August. Yeah. So
Hey, don't tease me like that. I'm getting old. You can't let the ticker go saying it could be August too.
I am leaving I'm leaving the podcast for about a month and a half. So,
Well, we are thrilled about all the news. It's absolutely exciting. And we'll miss you for that month. Some of us more than others, but Jesus Christ. This guy, man, Joe.
You better not be messing with me because it's late birthday gift. Like you're all starting to mess with me, and he's gonna be on next week going you suck. I don't want that to
Oh
happen.
my God.
That's
Gotcha.
funny.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Kev, I want to get into in a second. Because you, I know, have been out of the loop. You weren't on last week. So get ready to share a little bit about your news. And I know you got some cool wrestling stuff for Father's Day, but Jay, you got to do a little getaway too.
Oh
to
yeah.
Orlando, Florida. And if people
True.
have been following the YouTube, you see that you made a very special visit.
Yeah, so I was in Orlando for a family vacation at Disney World. And, like I said on the video, it's okay to cut out from a family vacation from time to time because, you need to. And it's healthy and it's for your, the best for everybody. And more importantly, a family vacation that I was on that nobody wanted to go to Hogan's Beach Shop with me. So
Shocking.
So I cut out. I went. This is the third or fourth time I've been there, but this is the first time since we've been on the podcast that I documented. So you can find that video at our YouTube channel at That Wrestling Podcast. But in the video, I had said I did some damage, and we'll discuss that later. Well, guess what? It's later.
Yeah.
As always, Price is Right rules. How much did I spend at Hogan's Beach Shop in Orlando? We will start with Brian.
So
closest without going over wins.
yeah, we saw the yellow bag, and obviously sizes, prices can all vary, but it was one bag from what I gathered. So that's the starting point. The second point I think about when it comes to this was you are making a move. Maybe you're watching your expenditures a little bit. Okay. So maybe normally I'd go a little higher. So I'm going to go a little more on the lower side. I'm going to say 171.
Ooh, Joe?
I'm gonna go with 280.
Kevin?
See, I was trying to figure out how many dewdrop figures would you really want?
Oh yeah, that was great.
I don't know
that
what
was the highlight.
That other than Zeus, that was
Yeah.
the only non-Hogan wrestling figure there were the
It's
20
amazing.
dewdrop figures that were on the shelf there. It's crazy.
Right.
I laughed. I laughed so loud. I'll say I'll go 130.
Actual price that I spent at Hogan's Beach Shop in Orlando. I don't remember what any of you said. $212.90.
That would have been
Brian.
me. I think I said 171. So
I went over. I said
40.
280.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Logic
and even
wins
better,
again.
and being the professional and star of this show, I have my purchase with me. So, so normally when Kevin goes places, he buys a refrigerator magnet. I did the same.
Oh, that's sharp.
Oh,
So,
that's
okay.
awesome.
Very
Also,
nice.
in the vein of my friend Kevin, I bought some odd socks, Hollywood Hogan. Also, in the vein of my friend Kevin, I bought another odd socks, NWO.
Nice.
I'm glad you're paying attention to this, Brian.
Yeah.
In the video, I talked about the Thunderlips statue,
Yep.
the Ultimate Male,
Oh, that's a great shirt.
Thunderlips t-shirt.
That's a great shirt.
I also loved this one. Every time I go, I buy a Hogan Beach shop store or shirt. A little Miami Vice action.
Ooh, like the Miami
Nice.
Vice
That's
colors.
cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, I did not buy the boner belt. I thought about it for the podcast, but I talked to our accountant, and I could not write that off as a show expense if I spent $5,000 on
Shit.
the big green boner belt. Kevin, how did you feel that the Cody autograph weight belt was only $250, where the Hogans were $450?
$450.
Yeah, and then my last purchase, which is something I've actually been looking for a while, is the Hulkamania baseball tee
Okay. Yeah.
with "Running Wild" on the back.
Nice.
So,
Look at that.
yeah, so $212.90, and it was one of those, like, if you're in Orlando, you need to go check this place out. Clearwater, Florida, like I talk about, that store is basically a broom closet, but Hogan's Hangout is next door. I did that outro probably 6 times. People were walking in front of me. It was just like, fucking come on. And in those other things I mentioned, if you go to Hogan's Hangout on Mondays, you can do karaoke, unlike Kevin, who was in Orlando or Clearwater on a Monday, did not go and did not get to sing in front of Hulk Hogan, sitting next to the DJ, who I believe is Nick Hogan. But yeah, so Hogan's Beach in Orlando, if you are there, you should go check it out. Go to Orlando, go to Disneyland, go to Universal, take an hour. I literally took an hour. It's 6 miles from Disney World. I took an Uber. I shot the stuff. I shopped. I got back in the Uber, went back to Disney World, and was back with family in about an hour. So
It's manageable.
yeah. Here's what's crazy. This show comes out on the 23rd. The 24th, Hogan's doing a signing there. So if I was 1 week, which I, years ago when I met Hogan there, it was the same deal. I was on a Disney World vacation and he did a signing and, that type of stuff. So, so $212.90. I don't know who won because I don't care at this point. We've done this so many times when I go spend way too much money on shit I don't need. But congratulations, Brian. You do not win a shirt this time. You do not win a necklace. You just win bragging rights.
I'll take it.
Brand supremacy.
Glass shatters.
Speaking of shirts, you still we still owe you a shirt from the draft.
Yeah, I was
Do
thinking
we?
about that. Yeah, I never
I don't
cashed
know.
in on the draft, so I figured
And I
see
think
each
you
other
guys-
for SummerSlam. I can do it then.
30-day expiration.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry.
These new
and I
rules.
think you guys owe me for shirts I bought for the Rumble for someone. I don't remember.
Not
but-
me.
I know
won.
I paid.
Well,
I
while
keep
you guys
winning
figure that out, I
shirts.
gotta, since this is my last show I'm going to just come and go as I please because I am the star. So you guys can talk about who owes what. I have to piss. I'll be right back.
Everybody owes me everything. But Kevin, you've been the Johnny Cash song of "I've been everywhere, man." You've been east, south, everywhere. And I know you sent the picture that you eventually got back for some Father's Day, which had some wrestling stuff for you as well.
I will say this: Jay's gone,
And you couldn't be
can't remember
happier.
if
I
said
get it.
this in text, but Joe will think this is cool. So because he's a Marvel guy. When came home, got some Father's Day presents, but my wife and I, we went to New York for a couple of days, kind of like a wrestling related show or vacation, because we made the decision next time we ever go to New York, it has to be Madison Square Garden WWE event.
Oh,
So it's
beautiful.
Something like that, because there's more that we want to do, and just the city is just so cool. Went to a couple of shows, just like wrestling, it's like theater, right? But one of the shows things we went to, one of the main actresses in one of the show was Tatiana, the main actress in She-Hulk. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the other co-actress in that show is Jackie from Roseanne. Fun fact.
Oh, wow.
It was our first. It was like a non-musical, but yeah, seeing She-Hulk like 15 feet away. That was pretty cool. But pizza, beer, fun. Came home, got that sweet China vintage WWF style shirt and beer.
Jason, I never thought I'd say this, but welcome back. As soon as you left the show, we started talking about Broadway musicals. I mean, we need you, man. You can't leave. You can't go.
Well, Kevin,
right.
I actually sent your wife that link to the homage store with Dad 316.
Did you?
I did, and she's like, I think I got him covered. But that's cool. New York City though was a good time.
That was awesome. It was awesome. I think you were gone. I would mention to Joe, you're a Marvel guy too. So one of the shows we went to, like the main actress was She-Hulk, Tatiana.
Oh, nice.
So it was very cool. It was very cool. It's kind of like a horror Broadway type show. It was
Yeah, you went to Sweeney Todd, right?
We went to 4.
Wow.
We were there for 4 nights. We ended
4
up going
Sweeney
to
Todd shows?
4 different shows. The first one,
What did you go see?
First
I
day
love
was
Broadway. Little known fact.
Oh, me too. Sweeney Todd first. Josh Groban was like the main. Was Sweeney Todd and Toby and Sweeney Todd. I don't know if you guys ever know what Sweeney Todd is or the movie.
Toby's bitch.
The barber.
But,
Demon barber.
Where's Ryan was in that one, right? Brian?
Yeah. The Demon Barber of St. Clair.
He's the only one I know. He had to have been in.
The Demon Barber of Harper Street. But no, the Toby in the movie or the show was played by Dustin from Stranger Things. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, very
the
cool.
one that I thought was Marco Stunt.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. And then we saw
That's him.
Moulin Rouge.
Everything goes back to wrestling.
In a comedy thing. And then Nintendo.
What was the comedy one?
It was called Pan Gone Wrong. It was like this group from London. It's like a comedy. I think you call them like troupe. Mm-hmm. But it's like they put on Peter Pan, but everything goes wrong. It was absolutely hilarious. I think I snorted it like 20 times. Very embarrassing.
So you had a rip snorting time like Simon wished Joe for his birthday. It's cracking.
That's right.
That's cool. No. Nintendo and Nintendo New York, you loved that, right?
I did. I don't want to steal your thunder, but we won't play the guessing game. But I did buy multiple more purchases.
Right. Well, you and I discussed this, and the other two don't give a shit, especially Brian. So, it's all good. Very cool. Well, I'm glad you're back. Glad you guys had a good time.
Kevin's back. Jason's about to be gone. Me
40
and Joe
minutes in.
just...
Can we talk about wrestling?
We can. I think that sounds like the good idea. The best.
We're going
idea
120
so far.
minutes tonight.
No.
Oh my God.
Like Matt Pinfield.
Keep the beer coming.
So it's like Jay's the Sean and I'm the Road Dog and Billy Gunn.
Well, no, I guess so next week, who's the X-Pac? Like, who's going to take over as the starring role in Triple H? And then you need an X-Pac.
Yeah. Where's my dog, Lucy? She's usually down here with me. I don't see her though. But we'll get to all that next week. But yeah, let's talk first off about the debut of AEW Collision last Saturday, the new Saturday night show for AEW on TNT, and the return of CM Punk. Punk cuts a promo to start the show. He wrestles in the main event with FTR versus the Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe. We had a title change. We had Luchasaurus defeating Wardlow for the TNT title. We had a new commentary team. We got a new set. There's a new theme song. Guys, what did you think of AEW Collision? Joe, you haven't talked in 5 minutes.
Which is good. Everyone's happy for that.
And Jason, of course, has to talk over me for that one. I like you said new theme song from the 70s.
Pretty predictable, right?
Yeah.
Was there any other songs that had Saturday you could have put in there?
Well, I don't know. SATUR
Saturday
DAY night.
No,
I don't know.
That's the Bay City Rollers.
Bay City Rollers. Thank you. I don't think I think the show was basically just dynamite. I like the subtle changes. I like that the commentary team was at ringside.
Yes.
I like the way they sounded. I think they did a good job. Wow. I work with children.
See.
But I absolutely love the Andrade and Buddy Matthew. I love that match.
Wait, okay. Did I? So I was back in my hotel room at Disney, so I did catch that match. One, the commentary team could not fucking get Andrade's name right. Andrade, Idolo. And then the ring announcer called him Buddy Murphy.
Yes.
The fucking ring announcer called him Buddy Murphy.
Too. Yep.
Come on.
I think the worst part about
Ross-
that match was the idiot sign that was on center view the entire match.
Was that the one about Dommy Mommy?
Dommy,
Oh,
Mommy
yeah.
and everything. It's like, come on, seriously,
that.
like take that sign down. You're promoting another storyline that it's still real to me.
As bad as Jim Ross was when he was on TV and he's been for the last 4 years, Kevin Kelly and Nigel, they fucked that shit up. That's a main event match. That match was fucking awesome. And these idiots cannot get the names right. How do these people have jobs? Wow. How? Seriously.
See, I really liked them. I didn't catch those mistakes though, so maybe I'd go back and check that out.
I think I was
overall
focusing
they were
so
really
much
good.
on that stupid sign and the good wrestling that I wasn't really paying attention too much of the commentary. I thought they did fine for like being a first team together. I mean, they weren't talking over each other. They weren't basically they were calling the action and they weren't trying to get themselves over. They were trying to get the stories over. They may have messed up the names. I missed it.
That's a big fuck up in my book.
But the action in the ring kind of took care of that.
No, it didn't.
I wasn't paying attention to the announcing because I was watching the two guys in the ring. So I'll go back and listen. But I thought the show was okay. Mm-hmm. Nothing special.
So it is nice that they have done what WWE does, red ropes. If you've seen online lately, you'd laugh. If you use any AEW hashtag, it comes up AEW in red that looks like Raw.
Raw logo.
It's been like that for about 3 weeks now, and I have heard no one talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it. Twitter, my particular Twitter account's been weird. For some reason, I don't know if like Tony Khan and Elon Musk are friends. When I say anything negative about AEW, it takes like 4 days before it posts. I don't know what is going on with my Twitter account. I'm not like, that's for real. But when you use any AEW hashtag on Twitter, it comes up AEW in red and it looks like Raw. So they're copying the Master, which is what they should be doing. They've got red ropes like the Master. And unfortunately, they are copying the Nitro logo. And let's talk about CM Punk's promo. That's a generic John Cena promo. Tell me when I'm lying. Seriously, tell me when I'm lying. That is a generic John Cena promo. You can love me. You can hate me. It was a John Cena promo. And learn from the Master, you should. Look, I feel like CM Punk, the fact that, again, we're not getting what we want. We're going to get these subtle references to the generic Bucks or the counterfeit
Bucks was the big
Come
line.
on.
Yeah.
CM Punk is the one that we would expect to blow the fucking world up and actually talk about it. And we didn't get that. So while the show, the wrestlers, the Friends of Phil Saturday Night Wrestling special is great, not getting what we want. And then he shows up on Dynamite and says, "Oh, I'm a Collision guy. I'm not even supposed to be here." What? That's going to be a thing now? I'm a Collision guy. I'm a Dynamite guy. And the fucking Elite pre-tape. And I know we're talking about Saturday. I'm talking about Wednesday. Like, I want it to be great. I really do. But AEW partial access, the Bucks side of things, we're not going to talk about it. To Collision, where we're going to get vague references. And to me, like I said, CM Punk is the one that I would think would just blow the fucking roof off that shit and just be like A, B, C, and D.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
This is very indie wrestling. And let me give you a little example. Years ago, fuck it. In Pittsburgh indie wrestling scene, there was a woman who got her role decreased. And then all of a sudden she said some very derogatory things about male talent. Things that allegedly happened. No proof. So then everybody not everybody, a few people in that scene posted a couple shoot videos, brother. And they refer to her as a girl. No name. I feel like that is a lot of what this Punk thing was. It's vague references. It's, vague book. Like when you post vague shit on Facebook, like you want attention. So I feel like that's what this is. Punk should have been the one to blow the roof off his motherfucker. And then getting the world of pro wrestling all tuned in to Dynamite, to Rampage, to Collision. And we didn't get that. And yes, I'm wearing a shirt that says CM Punk sucks. And I know he is great for this business. He is great for this. But we need pipe bomb CM Punk. Even though that was a work, we need more of that. Because this story needs to be told. Because if it did, everybody would be talking about it. Not just four schmucks on a podcast on a Thursday.
So you're saying
what was
we
your
got
reaction to the promo? Yeah.
So Jay, you're saying we got Sparkler from CM Punk or Ash Snake.
Right.
Yeah. Sparkler, that's a good one. That's good. Yeah.
I didn't mind it. And this is why. It is what it was, right? I think taking off the microphone, I thought the shaved head, I think it's going to be a slow burn. And he's going to come out and he's just going to say, I think it's going to be almost like him versus Tony a little bit. And he's going to be like, I'm sick of being the guy Tony wants me to be. And then it's going to get him more villainous, him more outlandish. And I think it's going to go, when's the Wembley show?
August, I think.
Yeah, late August. Yep.
And you watch, he'll continuous. And that's where he's going to go full 100% badass CM Punk. It's going to be a slow burn.
Is it too late though? Is it too late?
Well, it's only been 1 week.
No, but he had his chance.
2 months to
he
really
had his. Okay, fine. You know what, Kevin? Here we're gonna go with it's summertime. It's a baseball analogy right now. Collision was 2 outs, bases loaded, down by 3, and he struck out.
Damn.
But the next game, he hit a home run with no one on the base path.
Almost had it.
Which one is more important? He got his single glory of the home run, but he didn't do it when it counted. And that's what he missed on that one. That's what they missed. Because it wasn't 100% him. They all agreed to it. But it's just a matter of he had a chance. I have to agree with Jason on this one. He had a chance to blow it up. And I didn't even put in my mind with the Cena Light promo, but that was a Cena promo. Every time Cena went against Roman Reigns or Dolph Ziggler or anybody who said that they were being buried by Cena, he would point out their flaws. But Cena did it better. Yep. So I got to give you props for that. Punk and AEW had a chance. The wrestling world was waiting to see this. And some people think, well, he had good contact with the ball. It just didn't score any runs. It didn't work for me. It was okay, but
I thought it was okay.
It was bland.
I thought it was okay. I think because it's in Chicago, it's going to get the good reaction. So, let's see what happens next week. And that's why I'm kind of reserving my strong opinions until they'll be in Toronto.
Next week it's going to be he's going to hit a home run with there's no one on the bases.
Well, we'll see.
He's Collision is in Toronto on Saturday. Forbidden Door is Toronto Saturday. Or Sunday, I mean.
Sunday, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if he only gets cheered in Chicago because Dynamite was in Chicago this past Wednesday.
Right. So
and
that's
we know
what
Canadian
I'm kind of
fans are
on.
strange.
Yes, it could go either way. They could be all about it. They could be all against it. It could be in the middle.
I bet because he's a Brett guy, he'll get cheered in Canada.
So
for the next month,
he'll probably wear he'll probably
pink.
Wear his pink and black.
Him and FTR will come out with the logo knockoff from the Hart Foundation. So that I could see that. But yeah, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I thought it was fine. It's not what we all want, but we'll see where it goes. I did think it was an interesting angle of the bringing out the bag. We all know the title's in there, saying basically beat me if you can.
What, do you got a kidney in there? What's going on?
You got a kidney in there.
I got a 6.
That's an interesting angle to me. I'll see where that goes. But the other takeaway I took from Collision, besides the things that we mentioned, guys, Samoa Joe still's got it. He still got it, fellas. It's that line. Ariel Hawani uses it from like Roy Jones Jr.'s rap career. He goes, y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot when he put those slaps on Dax and CM Punk. I went, holy shit. And I went, in my head, if I was God of all wrestling and I could make all the rules, the only two people who could do chops would be Samoa Joe and Gunther. And that's it. That's the list. Because holy fucking shit, was that great. So I love that part of it. Again, a little, I guess a little surprising. There was not some big angle. Like it was very much the house show match that we all expected, and they won, and we raised our hands, and we're out of time, folks. So a little surprised about that. But yeah, so it was okay in my book. I liked the Elton John and the commentary more than you guys did. So I thought it was a positive debut, but
please go back and listen to the commentary.
I will have to.
And Buddy, because it was terrible. Yeah. Fucking terrible.
So we go back a day earlier, Friday Night SmackDown. Jey Uso has to make the choice, and he goes into all the reasons why Roman has helped him. And Jimmy's put him down. He says, Jimmy, you're out, and I'm out too. He hits the big super kick to Roman, and eventually both Usos super kick Roman to end the show, and we're getting the Bloodline Civil War of Usos versus Roman and Solo at Money in the Bank. That poster that they've been showing on social media is fucking phenomenal. And guys, your thoughts on the segment and the official implosion of the Bloodline?
Segment was great. Love the fact that it's like, Jay super kicked. I love that they both got it in there. My only thing I have with that segment is the fact of why is Paul Heyman still holding on to the two old belts when basically,
I love it.
But
I love it.
Like, why?
Because Roman is the guy. Let Heyman bring those belts out every time for the next 10 years, because that's as long Roman's going to be the champ.
Heyman
10 more years to break those records.
Amazing in that segment. That he's not getting enough credit. When Roman said that this is my wise man, when you become tribal chief, you can have your own wise man. Heyman went from worried to a big grin on his face, and then he goes, I love you, my tribal chief. Absolutely loved it. Paul Heyman deserves more credit for that segment. I mean, everyone involved in it deserved all the credit in the world, but Heyman, when he went from worried to the smile of I got this, gold.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. You kind of can look at wrestling outside of the bubble and go, why don't you just kick Roman in the first place without doing all that fake shit to Jimmy? But I'll take that hat off and say that was really cool doing so you out. And then, he ends up doing the turn on it, and it's fine. My initial thought was he's going to go with Roman, and then they're going to beat up Jimmy so bad that's like causes the turn, but it's all good, man. I can't wait for Money in the Bank. It's going to be fucking phenomenal. And
I hope we get the 4-way at SummerSlam, because I am going to SummerSlam, even though I'm not on the podcast. So yes.
Yeah, that's been talked about, a fatal 4-way with the 4 guys. And
you know what else has not been talked about, Brian? Me predicting the Civil War at Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. I predicted that. And, Brian, I know you're going to get to something you predicted later, but that's cool. But that's not as cool as me predicting Roman over Cody at WrestleMania and predicting the Civil War tag match at Money in the Bank.
Bing. Yes, we'll get to mine in just a few. Kev, your quick thoughts on the implosion of the Bloodline.
Yeah, I've been, away for a while, so I tried to hit the hot things in each show, and of course, without even knowing that was without knowing what else was in the show, I knew that at least had to catch up on that. This is my 2 cents. I never want the Bloodline storyline to end. Ever. You know,
You've
when you
seen
see
those
like
memes with like gray hair Roman
Yes, where
for like
Roman
WrestleMania
looks
60? Yeah.
80, like
Yeah.
it's
That's you, huh? Okay.
this is the thing, like and you know, I watch wrestling with my kid. He likes the matches. He kind of likes the talking. He loves LA Knight, by the way, which we will get into when we talk about Raw in a few minutes.
Yep, we'll get to that.
But
Yeah.
he loves everything Usos. Hates Roman. Loves the Usos.
That's great.
Me personally, I've never been so just glued to the television week after week after week. And it's like, oh, Jay's going to make his decision. Oh, next week. And it's like, damn, we have to wait 7 more days. Like, that's the thing. It's beautiful storytelling. Bubba Ray, Bully Ray said earlier this week, Usos by far the best tag team champs ever in professional wrestling.
Actually, it was the greatest tag team of all time, but I'll let you slide, Kevin.
Greatest tag team of all time. And he threw in the Dudleys in there and the New Day in comparison. He's like, New Day's amazing. Dudleys, of course, right? They own their piece of history, but he's like the Usos, and he's like their storyline, they're compelling. They're he didn't say acting, but just their performances in the ring and in all the entertainment aspect. And I have to think of that. And then I started thinking, I'm like, who would be on my Mount Rushmore of tag teams? That's where I started thinking. I'm just like, that might be something that we might have to talk about on a later episode, because we always like, oh, who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Okay, I'll do it right
Rushmore
now.
Tag teams is.
I'll do it right now.
Okay,
it's the Road Warriors.
Oh, well,
it's Arn and Tully. It's the Rock and Roll Express, and I'll go Dudley's.
Okay. No arguments on those 4. I'm putting the Usos in there. I think they absolutely deserve it. I'll go with Road Warriors. I've got a soft spot in my heart for the Eliminators from ECW. That's just me.
You're the only one.
Guys. I am.
You get some Perry Saturn in there, right?
Yeah, Perry Saturn, John Cronus. Yeah, those are the 2. And then, you know, I go Hall and Nash, but like, it's they were a tag team, but they were such singles, so it's kind of a different one. But yeah, guys, I when Bubba Ray, when he said what he said about the Usos, I went back to my Twitter from May 27th and said the same thing. Are the Usos the greatest tag team ever? Not Demolition Elliott, Young Bucks, Hard Foundation. Because and when he said that, I said, "Yep, I think they're my number one." That just because they're so good. It's an amazing story, and they do such a great performance with it.
I think I would have to go Road Warriors, Dudleys, Freebirds, and Usos. That's good. I mean, the Freebirds invented the rule, the Freebird rule. I mean, come on.
Rule, that's good. That's really.
But
good.
I would put the Usos on the Mount Rushmore because they've been so dominant for 10 years.
They're there,
and they haven't broken up.
I like face paint.
Days close.
Face paint. The Haka.
Yeah.
When I say Us, y'all say O's.
Yeah.
Even
Usos that was good at the time.
Yeah. Even at the time, it was good.
At the time, it was good.
And they reinvented themselves each time.
You know, I'm going to miss
They deserve it.
I'm going to miss this when I'm gone. Random shit that's not on the outline.
It's not on the format. Yeah.
Me,
Sean Ross didn't have that scoop.
Kevin's like, we could do this in a future episode, or we'll just do it now.
Or we'll just do it right now.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Wait?
That's okay.
Isn't there some famous literary quote of why wait till tomorrow with what you can do today?
Yeah.
I like
Joe,
it.
you're going to tell us you're a teacher and you know this shit. So that's a real thing, right?
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Right. So cool.
Reason enough to throw it out there. Let's move on though to Monday Night Raw. As another wise man, I think the band was called The Vines, had a song called Hate to Say I Told You So. Last week I did say Logan Paul's coming back. What's gonna happen? And I broke it down. I said, boy, it's a lot of faces with only one heel. Money in the Bank. I think that's where the move is. And sure enough, there he shows up at the top of the ladder. He's got the briefcases right above him. There it is. So Logan Paul's in. Fun segment with all the other guys coming out and saying their piece. Well, except for Butch, who just came down and punched Logan, which is fantastic. Big pop for LA Knight too, guys. Wow, that was like, okay, you got to take notice of this. But now that Logan's in, is he the favorite? Do you think he wins? And we could get into predictions next week, but I think he has to be the favorite.
Not all of us.
Well, not all of us. Yeah, Jay, what's your prediction on Money in the Bank?
Wow.
Good one, Joe.
What I thought was interesting about LA Knight, red shirt versus black shirt. Hear me out. Normally, he wears the red LA Knight shirt under the black vest, and he's good on the mic. Monday on Raw, he had the black shirt, black vest, and he was on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Another level.
Goosebump-like level.
Yes. You know, wrestling t-shirts, majority of them are black. And I think he needs to ditch the red. Well, I love the red. Black shirt, black vest, all LA Knight all day. Now, Logan Paul winning makes the most sense.
It does. Mm-hmm.
But if they don't give it to LA Knight, they have done a huge disservice to LA Knight.
100% agree.
Based on crowd response, yes, it's hard to.
This goes back to the Hall of Fame, the SmackDown the night before WrestleMania. This guy deserves it. Do I think he wins the title he catches in on? Maybe the U.S. Championship. Not Roman. Probably not Seth. Maybe he goes, NXT, who knows? I don't even know. Yeah, he could beat Carmelo Hayes, no doubt. But yeah, if LA Knight does not win the briefcase at this point, just fucking send him to Impact.
Drop it on the ball. Joe, your thoughts? Logan Paul shows up. Is he the favorite? Where's LA Knight fit in this for you?
He makes sense because he could basically be off TV forever with that championship, with the briefcase, and could show up whenever to cash in. He doesn't have to be on every week to tease it because he can just take months off at a time. I don't think he's going to win though. I still like it's between LA Knight and Damian Priest. I'm flipping a coin on which one is going to win, but everyone else is just there to put on a show. And you know you're going to get Logan Paul and Ricochet doing some crazy stuff, and hopefully that sets them up for SummerSlam. I'm calling that right now.
There's
Logan
a pathway
Paul
there
versus Ricochet at SummerSlam.
See, I'm thinking different. I think LA Knight wins Money in the Bank. Next night, Logan Paul has so many close chances. Next night, LA Knight comes out. Logan Paul comes out just for the fact that promo down the ring. The dude used the prop. He used the map. It is flawless. Like I would love that setup and have LA Knight versus Logan Paul. That is a top tier non-big time championship match for SummerSlam. Ricochet, Logan Paul, not SummerSlam worthy.
Oh, you're so wrong on that one. Ricochet and Logan Paul will tear the house down.
Why? Ricochet? Why? Because one spot at Rumble?
Wait till July 1st.
Whoa.
Well, I'm just saying.
Kevin.
That was 5 months ago.
Angry Kevin. I have never seen this side of you in 2.5 years.
Are you taking over for Jason?
Joe sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Who's going to pick up that slack while he's gone? No, I get what you're saying. Like Ricochet is the mid card. Is it worth taking a Logan Paul appearance against Ricochet? That's not to say the match wouldn't be amazing. It would. But when you talk about crowd response and kind of where the careers are headed, LA Knight is right on the cusp. So, I could see that more than
Logan Paul Ricochet would be a great first match at SummerSlam. First pay-per-view
hell
match.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Even if they give LA Knight the briefcase, Logan Paul and Ricochet have a great moment in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Royal Rumble. We get that match in Detroit.
I think so.
Yeah, there's angles there. There's definitely options. Another thing from Raw, and I'm gonna bleed this into NXT. What did you guys think about Finn Balor's relentless attacking of Seth
Loved it.
multiple
Awesome.
times on
Awesome.
Raw?
Coup de grace off the steps was
That was a good
amazing.
one.
I fucking loved it. This
Yeah.
is the Finn we need. I don't want the demon. I want this angry Finn Balor. I don't think he beats Seth Rollins, but still, it's fucking awesome, and I'm here for it.
And it continued on at NXT. We had Seth and Braun and the NXT trademark of, oh, here's the little graphic.
The
credits,
signature.
And then there comes Finn and beating it up.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, I absolutely loved it on Monday, and I was watching it with my wife, and she went, Finn's not the bad guy here. He did get injured by Seth 6 years ago. I'm like, yes, you're getting
Wow,
it too.
look at that
She
logic.
gets it too. She even went back to the SummerSlam match of how Finn never got his revenge for it. So it's like this is 6 years of built up frustration on Seth Rollins. So
Long-term storytelling.
Finn's not the bad guy here.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
He's just
Because
an angry Irishman, which Brian, you get, I get. We bottle our emotions up until either we die or it comes back
Now
years
it's
later.
time,
You,
and it's
you
a-
thought
it's
you
a
forgot
fireball.
about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I love it.
I personally love it. Just for the fact where in recent weeks, I feel like Finn's been third of or maybe even fourth
Between, yeah. Oh, yeah.
in the
With
backseat, just
Priest
because
and
Dom
Dom,
gets
yeah.
the most heat. Damian
Yeah.
Priest is so much better on the mic, amazing in the ring. And Rhea is Rhea.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah,
that
Rhea.
he needed something like this to make him to the equal level and even make that group so much better. Because he was it's not that he's bad in the ring. He's absolutely amazing in the ring. I just felt like there was a little while where I'm like, kind of getting left behind because everyone else is moving up so much. So
But that's what
I'm
makes
glad.
the stable great because they're all moving up.
Yep. And Dom
I
getting
think
with
that's
this one.
accurate.
Dom's the most hated person
it's
in
the
all
best.
of wrestling.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, he
Yeah.
gets signs in other
However,
promotions.
WWE dropped the ball on this week's Hidden Treasures. Dom and Ray were together.
Wow.
But wasn't
okay.
it taped before
It
Clash of
was,
the
but still.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great episode.
he didn't have the prison tattoo. He wasn't hardened.
I just, it was an amazing episode. The things they got were outstanding, but Dom and Ray together for the opening segment, it didn't do it for me, but it was still really good. But, Dom, yes, this Dom thing, whether it's piped in audio, which I don't believe it is. I think
I don't
these
either.
crowds
What I
hate
gather.
it.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to tell the difference. So that just shows how dumb or smart I am. It was so good. Everything about Dom is great. And, I want Dom to win a title. I don't know which one. I don't care which one. I want Dominic to win a title.
It would have been, he would have been a heavy favorite of mine if he was in the Money in the Bank match. That seemed like a perfect spot for him. And they obviously directed him and Cody both away from there, which is great because if Cody was in it, I'd say, well, Cody's probably going to win. So
Right.
I think it worked
So we
out
saw
just
how well
fine.
that worked at WrestleMania.
We clearly
Who
did.
predicted
Yes. Yes. There's always next WrestleMania to finish the story, Mr. Rhodes. The other note from NXT I wanted to mention, Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes had a hell of a promo battle. In last week with not last week, but 2 weeks prior with MJF and Adam Cole. Those two might be my favorite promos of the year as far as like a two-person back and forth promo.
Oh.
Jay, I know you checked this out and had some feelings on it.
Corbin wins 10-9.
Mm.
He put Carmelo in his place.
He did.
I
like that he cut him off at the very
too.
end. The very end where like they both had lines and Carmelo like finished the promo was finishing of like Carmelo saying like, well, Baron, and he goes like, I'm leaving. And he just he left essentially.
Maybe I'll
I didn't
do that.
see like that.
Maybe I'll do that in like 15 minutes when
Maybe
we're
you'll
trying to wrap
have
this.
I love the line of like, I'm going to take the title. I'm going to go to my mansion. My wife's going to pour me a drink. And
Steak you can't afford.
From a bottle you can't afford. I love Melo's line about, yeah, you built this house, but I like redone the roof 4 times on this bitch or some shit. I love that.
It was
great.
it was really good, and I didn't see it coming. I really didn't.
No,
And
it was good.
I like I've liked Corbin for a while, and I just didn't see that promo coming, and I'm glad that it went the way that it did.
This is a good spot for him.
Yep,
This is a really good spot.
I don't think he wins the title,
I don't either, but not ruling it out.
not necessarily needed.
Yeah. Joe, any quick thoughts?
All I gotta say is because, like, you know how much I've been a Corbin fan all these years. I haven't been. This is a Corbin we need.
You've come around. Yeah.
No, I'm still not a fan of him. I'm still not a fan of him, but he's finally in this. Like, he needed this resurgence. He needed to go to NXT. That's what NXT is for, to get guys and girls on TV to showcase their talents or reinvent themselves. He's being reinvented. I love the line where it's like, you know, Carmelo talked about him being like, you know, making fun of Happy Corbin. He's like, Happy got me in a $1.8 million mansion. You know, it's like, good for him. Good for, like, in the walk off too. All right.
That was good.
That's the Corbin. We didn't need Constable Corbin, your friendly neighborhood TGI Fridays host. Can I speak to your manager, Corbin? We didn't need King Corbin.
The waiter from Dingbats.
Yeah, the waiter from Dingbats. We didn't need
the new wrestling god.
The new wrestling god.
Yeah. There's been a lot. There's been a lot.
I just hope one thing I do hope
this is what we needed.
I hope they can figure out what he wears in the ring. I don't need a cutoff shirt.
There's a bit of a mess right now.
I maybe he goes
the
back
lone
to
wolf too
tights.
is bad.
Oh, I
like
like the lone wolf.
Maybe go long tights.
But he had like the skullet.
Yeah.
Yes. Skullet was there.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask actually all 3 of you this. Now I know I have to go back and watch that segment.
You totally do.
Yeah, it's a great
question
service.
from all 3 of you guys, because you guys all praised it. Do you think Corbin excelled because it was a smaller audience? Because in the large venues, sometimes he would look like he would get a little lost, a little flustered with the boos and 15,000 people cheering against him. NXT, so small, intimate. It's almost like you and the one person are there with a small little crowd around you.
I think it was because it's him. Like, you got to think of like the writing and the creative regime that was during all those low times for him. Now, I think it's confidence. I think he actually has confidence in this new direction that he has. I think that's the difference.
I think what it boils down to is very similar. And I know weren't really planning to talk about Dana Brooke, but it's the situation of, you know, this NXT crowd is used to the NXT talent. And yes, Baron Corbin was NXT talent, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
It's been
you know,
Dana
Brooke has been with WWE NXT for 10 years now, which is hard to believe. And NXT Dana Brooke in the beginning, I did not like. You know, she was, and then obviously that worked. You know, she was the heel. She moved to the main roster, and I like Dana Brooke. And I even like Dana Brooke now back in NXT. But this thing with Corbin, you know, it's not the same Corbin that was in NXT all those years ago. Obviously, he has no long hair. I think there's more arrogance and more just badass Corbin now than there was 10 years ago. So is it the crowd? Maybe. Is it the setting? Perhaps. I just think that Corbin might be more confident now than what he was on the main roster because of he's working with younger guys where he's the old guy.
Yeah.
Whereas on the main roster, he might be the young guy compared to the old guy.
And that's where I was going to go with it too. I think it's the product of the story itself too, of just, I'm the veteran. I've been there. I've done it. Look what I got. You're just a kid. Oh, the other line. Sorry for the spoiler, Kevin. The other good line of Carmelo's talking about his accolades. Like, at 26, I got this, I did that. He goes, Corbin, at 26, you got cut by the Arizona Cardinals. That was a good line. Really good line. So it was a really fun back and forth. And I think they'll put on a really good match at Gold Rush next week. AEW will quickly get into Dynamite. The one takeaway I really took for it, the blind eliminator.
Oh my
tag
God, this
tournament.
is awful.
Do you guys remember the lethal lottery from WCW? That was just they picked the random guys out of the barrel, and so you get teams like
bingo balls.
Van Hammer versus Beautiful and Bobby Eaton. Like it was just all big matchup, and that's what they're doing here, obviously with MJF and Adam Cole. Jay, you're not a fan, it sounds like.
The worst part of this is going to be when they come up with team names, because AEW loves the mashup names to come up with team names. So let me go first. And I don't know if my Twitter actually posted this because, like I mentioned earlier, my Twitter is being weird. I think Tony Khan and Elon Musk are friends. Anytime I say anything negative about AEW, it takes forever to actually post. So my name for the MJF Adam Cole team. Are you ready?
Ready.
MJF and Cole.
It fits.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
MJF's going to make it up. He's going to say, I'm making this up. MJ, F you, Cole.
Oh, that's better than mine. That is way better than
That's all
mine.
good. That's all good.
MJ Baby. No, it's
There's something
AEW
there too.
creative. It's
There's
AEW
something there
creative.
too.
Oh, knowing AEW creative, that could really be it.
MJ Baby.
That just makes it sound like MJF's behind it.
Whatever. They don't have a clue. They're
Nah.
stupid anyway.
I
prefer the team of D'Lo, Brown, and Test.
Wait,
I'm
best
actually
friends
excited
taken
for this concept.
Best
Best
friends.
friends is taken. Yes. Better friends. We're better than best.
Bestest friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I hope they come up with some fun combinations. I don't know. Give me like, I don't know.
The Young Bucks.
There's a million
No.
teams. There's a million tag teams and factions in AEW.
Okay,
they really
fair.
need to do this shit.
That is fair. Yes, like where Butcher and the Blade? Where's Private Party?
Yes,
I don't know where these
Where's the
teams
Acclaimed?
are. The Acclaimed were they just came out and did a rap at and the little like scissoring thing at Collision.
Where's Peter Avalon and the Hollywood Hunk?
Right.
Nick Nemeth, Ryan Nemeth. Like
there's
a million. Where's Top
The
Flight?
Varsity Blondes.
Where's the
Varsity Blondes?
Where's
Yeah.
the Varsity Athlete?
Yeah.
Which is Smart Mark Sterling's team. Like there's enough teams and factions. Why they need to like make up shit on the fly?
That's
Well,
fair.
because they listened to us and they wanted us to talk about him more. Because if they would have done the week, he has to do the challenges. Brian
It's still
would've-
coming. I think
Oh
that's
yeah, it's
still
totally
coming.
No, it's not. They already got this tag team thing. We're moving forward.
You know what?
Do we
They copy everything from the WWF in the 90s. Just call their team good friends, better enemies.
Do
Yeah,
we think this team
that's
wins the tournament with being the only team announced so far?
No, because I think MJF at the end would be like, F you, I'm out of here. So I think, I think maybe they like show that they're getting along and maybe win a match or two. And at the end, it's just like, no, screw you. And he does a nut shot on him or something.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't.
We'll see
I
how it
don't
plays
care.
out.
I'm
You know what?
glad
Their
I'm
team-
stepping out. I'm glad I'm stepping out for a month.
Their
'cause
team name is
by
gonna
the
be
time I get back, this
Y2AJ.
shit'll
Why
be
not?
over.
Y2AJ.
Yeah, this team will be over, or this tournament will be over, and we can begin whatever is August AEW.
Do we have any additional thoughts? And they set up a bunch of matches Wednesday night on Dynamite for Forbidden Door on Sunday. Any thoughts? We're getting Sting and Darby with a mystery partner
Ooh,
against who is that? Against Jericho, Sammy, and Minoru Suzuki. So we got a mystery partner. Any guesses?
it has to be Goldberg.
You think
Goldberg.
so?
It's
I think
Goldberg.
so too.
Jericho's response was "Get the fuck out of here" when Sting whispered in his ear.
That's a good one.
And
Okay.
then Darby
That's a
said, "This isn't the only locker room that you've pissed off."
I thought maybe-
I
I
didn't
thought maybe-
catch that. That's great.
I thought maybe Lance Storm for a moment.
But he's an Impact.
Yes. Well, that doesn't mean shit.
But
Because they
they're
don't
in
have a working
Canada.
relationship
That's
anymore.
True.
Yeah,
That's true.
they do have a relationship because somebody made some comment in the there was a promo that said it was Moxley, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW. So
I'm sure they do a one-time thing, even if it's not like.
yeah, but realistically, I think it's Goldberg. Does Jericho and Ryback have any history that we can remember? Ryback's been
They might have
posting a
crossed
lot
paths.
online.
A lot. Is Dean Malenko with AEW now?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
but
I think he has
he's-
Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Going with Parkinson's.
What's DDP up to?
He's doing his
They
yoga.
never had
Who
problems.
knows?
Doing yoga. He's doing his
He's-
yoga.
He's
And
why.
they never had problems.
Yeah.
I think Goldberg has to be the
Laparca.
main.
That'd be
I think it's
big.
Juventud. I think it's Juventud.
I think he was there last year.
Oh,
nice.
they had him once.
It's El Dandy.
Is Sabu available for this one too? Is he allowed in Canada? Unlike Jeff Hardy, who's
I
written
saw-
off TV.
I saw Tony Khan. He did a media a scrum on Thursday, and he was asked about anything new on Goldberg. It basically said, we've had good talks. I believe the direction should be more of a New Japan wrestler, but I think Goldberg worked in New Japan for a little bit, and that's all I can say.
Brock Lesnar worked in New Japan.
He did. Yeah. So
Brock Lesnar and Jericho have issues after he thought Brock hurt Randy Orton on purpose.
Brock Lesnar is also with WWE.
yeah, talking
That
about
would be a
forbidden
forbidden door. Yes.
Kurt Angle sign
Yeah.
a lifetime with WWE?
I don't
Kurt
know.
Angle doesn't have a deal with
He was
WWE.
supposed to win
He may have a Legends deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts, guys, on anything Forbidden Door?
The real
mean,
question is: are any of you buying Forbidden Door?
No.
I think it's slim, but I'm not ruling it out completely.
Brian,
51.
I would love to see those last two matches of Omega,
Yes.
Ospreay, and Danielson Okada. It's a 2-match card, and those two matches could each be 45 minutes, and that's fine. I'll get my money's worth.
I'm 51-49. I'm not sure
So
which
you're
way
getting
yet.
that.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think that's almost time to wrap things up. But Jason, again, you talked to me earlier about knowing that this was going to be the final show for you for a little while.
Yeah.
Along with Sean Ross Sapp.
Oh no, there's more.
There's one more.
Is it Mel Kipper?
I wanted to get a hold of the other expert of the wrestling world. Please welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen, from the Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer. Oh, wait a minute.
It's
That's
Mel Kipper.
Mel Kipper. Mel, what are you doing here, buddy? What are you going to say to Jason? What's going on?
Thanks, guys. Wow. Congratulations, Jason, on the new job and the big move. 23 years or so in the radio business. That is truly impressive. 23 years in one business shows just how special of a talent you are. Let's look at some others with that career longevity. Tom Brady, Nolan Ryan, Jaromir Jagr, and Greg Oden. Well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Let's take a look at what your new employer is getting in you. The first big question I have is, how are Jason's medicals? We're talking not 1, but 2 artificial hips. As Shakira says, I'm on tonight. You know my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. Barring that all checks out, they're getting a guy who is as hard-working as they come. Jason is regularly texting the boys at 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. What kind of a sick freak does that? He drinks so much Ghost Energy drinks, he's legally changing his name to Casper. He's the champion gift giver, and he has enough wrestling shirts to provide clothes for the 3rd largest city in Guatemala. How about it, Jason? The kids in Villanueva need your help. Why don't you prove again you're the champion gift giver? Just think, you'll have over 1,000 Guatemalans wearing the Jason Wrestling shirt collection. Have your agent call my agent. Anyways, congratulations to you, Jason, and to your new employer, who are truly getting a first-round talent. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mel. Mel wasn't working tonight. It's the NBA draft, not the NFL draft. So Mel wanted to chime in with his thoughts on all your new adventures there, Jay.
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, well, Dave Meltzer was not answering my calls. So we got the next best thing.
It's, like I said, this was something that I've always wanted to do. And, I had a previous wrestling podcast, and then during the pandemic, the 4 of us tried something and it fucking went down the drain real quick. And 2.5 years later, my most proudest moment is that we haven't missed a Friday. Every Friday, audio version, we have had new audio. And, the key to this podcast game is consistency.
Yep.
So, whether you have listened from the beginning or you're a first-time listener, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, I definitely, appreciate the time you've put in and the comments. And, it sucks that I have to go away for a little while. And Joe, it sucks even more that you were excited that I was going to be gone because you thought I was done for good. But seriously, I have full confidence you guys can run this ship for a while. And by you guys, I mean Brian and Kevin. Joe, you're just along for the ride at this point. We all know that.
Right.
My stardom will be missed. The shining star that I am, not being here will cast a cloud over that wrestling podcast for the next 4 to 6 weeks. But I assure you, when I return, hopefully you guys can get us to 4,000 subscribers. We're under 300.
Work on that.
And when I come back, this isn't going to be the suffer and succotash version of Jason. This will be the tribal chief version. This will be the head of the table. This will be Mr. 1000 Days. And I assure you that that wrestling podcast will be in good hands. And when I return, even better.
Hey, there it goes.
Oh,
I was going to say, hey, we can't wait for all that. It sounds great. Oh, wait a second. Where did my camera go? That's outrageous.
Wow, we're off to a swimming start right now. We got an upside down camera and Brian turned off his.
Yeah. He beat me to the punch on his out there. Well, that's great. That'll do it for this week's show. Good luck, Jason. Congratulations on all your great success. We wish you well on your future endeavors. YouTube.com / of course not. / That Wrestling Podcast. At That WrestlePod for all your socials. Whatamaneuver.net for your wrestling merchandise from That Wrestling Podcast. And as always, enjoy wrestling.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.